Two guys meet the same woman. One asks, "So, what do you do?" She answers, smiles, forgets him. The other asks one sentence. She pauses, looks away, breathes, and you can feel the air change. That's the difference. Most questions collect data. The right question creates addiction. In this video, I'm going to show you how to engineer questions with gravity. Questions that feel like a mirror, not an interview. Questions that open a door she didn't know was there. Stay here, because once you learn the shape of a question that bends time, she won't remember your name because you impressed her. She'll remember your presence because, for a moment, you made her feel most like herself. So, how do we do this? The video will be divided into two parts. In the first one, I'll explain to you some basic rules of asking the right question, and after that, I'll give you 3 techniques that you can use to create an addictive question. First thing, don't interview her. You recognize that dude attitude when you first meet a girl? That job interview excitement? What's your name? What do you do? Where are you from? What are your hobbies? It is polite sounding, but it actually buries you. She has answered the same questions 100 times this week. It does not touch her. She could reply you with her eyes shut, but the feminine brain is not a responder to the known. It is a responder to chase the interruption, the deviation. You want to make a woman feel, then you do not take the route, you swerve. Let me give you a rule that exists in a woman's mind. Pattern recognition equal comfort equal boredom. The brain is a predictive device. When something is going in the predicted direction, the brain is saving energy. That aids in survival. But for attraction, poison. That is why disrupting her routine is like magic. If you ask her suddenly, "What's something about you that I wouldn't expect, but I'd remember tomorrow?" she is unable to autopilot that. She jerks physically. She freezes up. She smiles. She feels seen because her emotional brain perked up for a sec and went, "Wait, this is different." Whoever causes the most tension, they owns the frame. You're not there to present information. You're there to move her into a different emotional landscape. If she is with you and starts feeling she is not in a conversation, but in a film scene, you've already won. She will be thinking about you the whole night and she won't even realize why. That's why the best questions aren't really questions. They're emotional portals. Try this. You seem calm, but you were probably a little reckless in the past. Am I wrong? Boom. Now she's not giving you facts. She's proving you wrong or telling you secrets. Either way, you determine the direction of the story now. And if you're one of the people following the series on how to attract women, you already know this well, which is why we won't waste time on these details. And now you might ask me, how do I avoid this interview mode? And how do I make her answer without going on autopilot? This is where rule 2 comes in. Ask what she doesn't even know she wants to say. This rings at a deep level because each of us has parts of ourselves that we never quite articulated. Certain things can't find words and yet exist in the background, soft, whispery, unacknowledged. And when somebody presses that button and brings it forward, you hear you. You feel somebody has at last heard your secret station. That's what you'd like to do with her. Don't open with, "So what do you do?" or anything like that. Try this. Do you ever feel like other people get you? Not only is that likely to put her on the spot at first, but it makes her think. It doesn't work with superficiality. It works with opening up emotion she didn't expect to uncover. And when she uncovers it, she associates you and that opening up of emotion. And let me tell you something that most people never know. The person that gives you room to be your quiet self makes you unforgettable because they made you feel more yourself. So the goal isn't to attempt and impress her, it's to entice her out of the character that she projects in front of the public. Say something like, "What is something you always loved when you were a kid that you stopped doing?" Or, "When do you feel most you?" Or just say, "Wait, you said quickly." Say it slower. And by the way, that last one, crazy strong because it gets her to replay what she said back to herself. And that changes how she feels being around you. It anchors feelings. You lose what was said, but you never lose what you felt saying it. And look, if you can get her back into her own emotional memory, she'll think you're deep, even if you said nothing at all. That's what this is. You're not collecting information by putting a question out. You're introducing a match to a gasoline puddle, her interior life. You get her intrigued about herself once more, and now you're a part of that experience. His is leveraging of reality, where most people are scared or too surface level to go. You'd like her to love you. So in conclusion, make her fall deeper into herself while she is staring at your eyes. And now we'll move on to the last rule before I give you the techniques. And this rule is one of the most important ones I've been telling you since the day I started YouTube. Rule 3, inject emotion, not just logic. Most guys are trained by school. We're taught that the cleanest answer wins. Say the right thing, structure it well, get the gold star. That works on exams. Attraction runs on a different currency. So please, listen to me carefully. What she feels with you takes priority over what she knows about you. You can offer flawless logic and be forgettable. The reason being that she never had a pulse shift while listening to to you. There was no spike, no imprint. You become a mannerly spectre. Logic comes into the intellect. Emotion comes into the spirit. Logic explains what happened. Emotion dictates what it means. For example, the surface question, so what do you do? Predictable, energy neutral. It puts her on autopilot. Flip to meaning. Do you like what you do, or is it just paying for the parts of your life you actually love? And now she has to check in with herself. You've moved her from recall to reflection, from script to feeling. Go further. Don't fish in her resume. Tap the voltage. If it weren't for applauding crowds, what would you do? What's the risk you keep postponing because it's actually the one that matters? What did 14-year-old you picture your life at this point would be like? And what if that kid is still making the calls? She halts. She searches. That seeking is the threshold. And when she responds, do so in pictures and not in spreadsheets. When she says she is from a small town, don't anchor it with nice. Try. Small towns are like midnight kitchens. The silence is deep enough to hear the hum of the fridge. Was the silence learned or resisted? You're not trading information now. You're trading feeling. Human beings resonate with textures of experience. Emotion is contagious. Your tone is her weather. Speak from where you are and she will come to feel it. Don't give lines. Remember, talk about it like you're still half there. Don't go after smart lines. Go after actual truth. The nervous system comes before the thesis. You can feed her facts and she may nod. You can take her meaning and she'll recall you at 2 a.m. when the room is darkness and the brain reruns what was important. Ask questions. Speak using photos. Don't reveal everything. Make her feel something she never had a word for and she'll remember your name effortlessly. Alright, now you've understood with me the principles of an addictive question. These are rules I want you to memorize and keep in mind for the rest of your life. And now, let me explain to you 3 techniques. If you master them, I can tell you that you'll have a weapon that whoever you use it on will end up liking you, whether it's a woman or a man. First technique, use implied premises that frame you as the one who gets it. When I say use implied premises that frame you as the one who gets it, I don't mean flexing your intelligence. I'm talking about the kind of psychological framing that flies under the radar and hits her subconscious without her realizing why she's pulled towards you. This isn't about what you say, it's about what your words assume. Most guys speak to women like they're trying to prove they understand, like they're hoping to be accepted. So their questions come off like tests. Oh wow, you're into crystals, tell me more. But here's what that actually signals. I don't get your world, but I'll pretend I'm curious. Weak, too external, too needy. Now flip the frame. Imply that you already understand. Speak like someone who's seen the movie before, someone who's been there. If you act like you get her better than she gets herself, she will fight to prove you right. Let me show you. Instead of asking, so are you more of an introvert or extrovert? Say something like, you seem like one of those people who need people, but only in very specific doses. Like too much social energy drains you, even though no one notices that about you. Now pause. Watch her blink. You've just described a truth she probably hasn't even voiced out loud yet. You didn't ask permission. You didn't seek her validation. You asserted a hidden layer of her inner world, and she's hooked. Why? Because people crave recognition more than attention. And let me give you a rule that I want you to always remember. Validation makes her feel good, but recognition makes her feel seen. And most women go through their entire lives craving that. When you speak in implied truths, not questions, but confident observations, she feels like you understand her world. And once she feels understood, trust forms fast. That's when she starts opening up, chasing your perspective, trying to decode how you see her. You don't need to convince her of anything. You just drop the assumption that you already know and let her step into your version of her story. Want to be unforgettable? Don't describe yourself. Describe her in a way that makes her feel exposed, but safe, seen, but not judged. And if you do it right, she won't be able to shake the feeling that you get it. The second technique is create micro loops that pull investment. Micro loops are like invisible fishing lines you throw out in a conversation, and once she bites, she starts pulling herself towards you without even realizing it. And the wild part is, she'll think she's the one choosing to chase you. Let me break it down for you. The human brain is wired to complete things. That's why cliffhangers work in shows, why people can't stop scrolling, why you keep thinking about a girl who didn't finish her sentence. So when you ask a question that opens a loop, but don't close it immediately, you plant a little itch in her brain, one that she has to scratch. The moment she invests just a bit to scratch that itch, boom, she's on the hook. Let's say you say to her, wait, you strike me as the type who acts chill, but secretly overanalyzes everything before you even answer. Am I wrong? You didn't ask for her whole life story, you just hinted at a pattern she might recognize. And here's the rule that's gonna feel illegal to know. When you get people to explain themselves, they feel seen, but when you get them to prove you wrong, they feel hooked. That's the power of a micro loop. You're not interrogating her, you're offering her a mirror with a crack in it, and people can't look away from a cracked reflection of themselves. They want to fix it. it, explain it, rebuild it, clarify it. In other words, invest. Here's another example. You could say, there's something you're not telling me yet. I can feel it. You're holding back the fun part. Now pause. Say nothing. You've created space, curiosity, a tiny imbalance, and you've dared her playfully to step in and fill the gap. And she will. Because when someone opens a loop, our brain wants the dopamine hit of closing it. That's just how humans work. Most guys don't get this. They either give too much or ask too much. But the secret is in the tension, the gap, the dance. Every micro loop you drop is a moment where she gets to do the work. And when she works for the interaction, even just a little, her brain reframes the whole experience. I must like this guy. I'm investing. That's the rule. People don't invest because they like you. They like you because they've invested. So start speaking in unfinished thoughts, half-revealed observations, curiosity laced with quiet confidence. The less you force, the more she leans in. And now let me explain to you one of the most beautiful techniques you can use to shape a question. Make it feel like a shared movie, not an interview. You're next to her, and you both just snuck into a secret world. That's the vibe you need, because the moment she feels like she's in a shared movie with you, she stops analyzing and starts experiencing. Let's go deeper into why this works. When people feel like they're co-authoring an experience, their emotional brain lights up. Not their logical, does he check my boxes brain. The emotional brain is where desire lives. It's where attachment forms. Here's one of those rules you'll want to tattoo in your mind. People don't fall for you because of your resume. They fall because of how they feel in your story. That's the trick. Instead of asking her, what do you do for fun? You say, wait, if we were both in a movie and you suddenly disappeared halfway through, what weird twist would the audience discover about your secret life? She's no longer explaining herself. She's imagining a plot. She's playing along. She's experiencing something with you. Because here's the deeper psychology. Shared imagination equals shared reality. If you can get her to imagine with you, her brain codes it like a real bond. It's as if something actually happened between you, even if it's just talk. And that's dangerous in the best way, because it creates false nostalgia. She'll feel like she knows you, and later, if things drift, she'll feel like she misses you, even though nothing big really happened. This is what I mean by shared movie. You're walking through scenes together, you're adding tension, color, surprise. She's not reciting a script, she's in it. And bro, here's another rule that most guys completely miss. When a woman feels like you're already a part of her story, she starts fighting to keep you there. So ditch the checkbox questions. No more robotic small talk. Instead, build a moment. Paint little word scenes. Add mystery. Be playful with your pacing. Give her the role of co-star, not contestant, because when it feels like a movie, she'll want a sequel. And by the way, I know that in this video I didn't go into too many details because I don't have the time to explain everything step by step. But if you want to go deeper and understand the details, you can check out my online course, which you'll find in the description, where I can explain to you freely without being restricted by the algorithms. Thank you for watching the video. This was The Dark Needle, and I'll see you in the next one.